The SpecAC Atlas manual 15-ton hydraulic press, part number GS15011, has been designed for a wide variety of pressing applications, but is specifically suited to the preparation of 13mm diameter KBR pellet discs with solid sample using the SpecAC 13mm evacuable pellet die assembly. Such KBR solid sample pellets, prepared from the 13mm evacuable pellet die, can then be analysed for obtaining an IR transmission spectrum for sample species that are used within industries such as pharmaceuticals, petrochemicals, biotechnology, environmental, material and forensic sciences. The 15-ton manual hydraulic press works by pumping oil as a hydraulic fluid to raise a pressing piston and compress a sample held in the pressing area. The pressing area features front and rear safety guards which help for safe containment of any work being pressed within should an explosive event occur from the high forces that are being generated. The press consists of a pump block assembly where the oil is pressurised by the simple pumping action from a handle, and the sample pressing side where the pressurised oil is forced to raise the piston assembly. When resistance is offered by a sample, the pressure build-up in the system is shown on the 15-ton load gauge located on the pump block assembly. For a typical pressing of a sample, we are using the 13mm die assembly as an example of work to press. Raise the front safety guard and place the die to be pressed on the lower bolster pressing face covering the piston. Ensure that the work is positioned centrally and lower the safety guard. Screw down the top bolster pressing face attached to the lead screw assembly by turning the lead screw handle clockwise until the parts to be pressed have come into contact with each other. Rotate the pressure release handle clockwise until it becomes firmly tightened. This closes the pumping system in readiness to build up an oil pressure in the system by hand pumping via the press handle grip. Ensure the front and rear safety guards are lowered and start to pump the press by pulling and pushing gently but smoothly on the pump handle. The correct leverage and force is applied by holding at the rubber handle. It may take a few hand pumps to build up pressure in the oil, but once resistance is offered by the work to the raising of the piston, a tonnage load will be indicated on the load gauge. Keep on pumping until the required tonnage load is achieved. When the required tonnage load is indicated on the load gauge, stop pumping. The tonnage load and pressure of oil in the system can be held for as long as required. You may observe a slight decrease in the tonnage load applied, indicated at the load gauge, with a decrease in the oil pressure of the system, as the work being pressed may relax over time. You can bring the oil pressure back up to give a required tonnage load by pulling gently on the pump handle grip further. To release the load on the work, turn the pressure release handle anti-clockwise by about 1/2 of a complete rotation. There is no need to turn this handle completely open. When the tonnage load has been released from the work, it is safe to open the front safety guard and gain access to the work that has been pressed. Beneath the tonnage load gauge there is a pressure relief valve which may be set so that any load between 0 to 15 tons is the maximum load that can be obtained. The relief valve screw cap knob can be rotated clockwise to increase the maximum oil pressure in the system and hence the applied tonnage load, or rotated anti-clockwise to decrease the pressure in the system and the applied tonnage load. This is a useful feature for pressing applications where a maximum load limit is required. For example, 10 tons is the maximum load limit for use of a 13mm evacuable pellet die. The 15-ton manual hydraulic press can be adapted to provide heating pressing surfaces up to 300 degrees centigrade temperature by use of the Atlas heated platens and temperature controller system, part number GS15515. The upper and lower Atlas heated platens are shown when installed into the 15-ton press. The Atlas heated platens are used for the preparation of thin films with the Atlas constant thickness filmmaker accessory, part number GS15640, for samples that melt up to 300 degrees centigrade. The Atlas high temperature constant thickness filmmaker accessory, part number GS15800, can also be used within the 15-ton manual hydraulic press for the preparation of thin films of samples that have melting points up to 400 degrees centigrade. The high temperature filmmaker accessory has its own heating platen system, so does not require use of the Atlas heated platens. The SpecAC 15-ton manual hydraulic press is a versatile, easy to use and very robust piece of equipment for a very wide range of pressing applications. For solid samples that need preparation prior to infrared or X-ray analysis and measurement, this press can be used with compatible pellet dies or adapted for use with heated surfaces and filmmaker systems available from SpecAC.